So we're gonna rank how useful every 4-star in the game currently is. Because, as per usual, people see 4-star and they, like, vomit, they bleed, they want to kill them, they want to throw themselves off, like, the Empire State Building. Like, people hate 4-stars now. Like, you're a second-class citizen at that point. 4-stars are perfectly fine. There is a YouTuber, I think his name is Randomness, who has literally done multiple 4-cycle clears with DPS Cyrene, with Cyrene being the only cost. They might be more situational, but they're real characters. So yeah, so we're gonna sort them all into my beautiful little tier list today. We just need to find a way to divide everything up correctly. Okay, let's actually get started. This video is sponsored by U7Buy. With so many great characters releasing in Star Rail, it's hard to get everyone you want. This is where U7Buy comes in. This is a gaming hub, offering fast, cheap, and reliable top-ups for all your favorite games. The process to get top-ups here is simple. Head over to the store page and select the bundle you want. While the price may seem the same as the official store, the moment you click checkout, you'll have a great discount applied to your order. From there, you simply fill in your server and UID, the payment information of your choice, and within minutes, you'll see your top-up in-game. This method is efficient and completely safe for those looking to top up at a discount. If you want to start saving today, go to the link in the description or the pinned comment and use code CHRIS, that's Chris without an H, for an extra 8% off your current order. Thank you so much to U7Buy for sponsoring. Now, let's get back into the video. So let's start with March. Oh man, we're not off to a good start. So again, if we're basing this on genuinely how useful each character is. Okay, just for the fact that March is a sustain. I feel like sustains automatically hold a higher value because they are far more limited. Like, you don't have nearly as much options with sustains. So, having more options is always going to be a positive in this case. The reason...
What is she sustaining?
Yeah, so that's problem one, is that March is not sustaining anything. The other problem is that March sustain gets a point docked against it because by hitting the funny little switch key in your menu, you automatically get a better character. So I'm gonna be honest, if you have to pick between... Because no matter how you slice it, you can only use one of these at any given point. In most cases, if I'm picking between March Preservation or March Hunt, I'm picking March Hunt. The main thing March Preservation has going for her is the fact that she is a free sustain. Outside of that, you get Natasha free and you get Lynx free. So this is your only free shielder. This is the only shielder we get in the entire game for free. Like, if you've been playing long enough, you get a DHPT, you had the chance to pick up a free Aventurine. This is the only shielder early game players, as of right now, will ever get. Despite all the negativity I've just spouted off, I do think that this can probably go in niche, purely for the fact that shields are helpful, and her Eidolons are at least somewhat decent for what she is. Just because sustain, I feel like it has to go higher. Because I'm not gonna lie. Like, in terms of usefulness, I still think March Hunt is, or March Preservation is gonna be more helpful in any situation than Arlen. I'm not gonna order these within tiers too much, but please understand, everybody, if you're seeing this list in the future. She is at the very bottom of niche. Also, yeah, Japard also exists, but hey, he's a standard banner character. I didn't get a Japard for the first year that I was playing, and then I got 3 more real quick. Alright, next up is Don Hung. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, almost every 4-star DPS will be going in pretty useless. He has miserable multipliers, no actual useful talent, horrid traces. There is not any incentive to using Don Hung, especially when you get other free 4-star options that are just better than him in every single way. There are multiple 4-star DPS here that I'm taking over Dan Heng. He just has nothing going for him, and it's so sad to see. All right, next up is Arlen. Next up is Asta. So Asta is a very, very interesting case. Asta has always existed as an extremely, extremely niche option. If you can build her to 200 speed and you put like max energy regen on her, she's going to be acting multiple times in a cycle, and then she is capable of boosting the speed of all of your characters at E6, I believe, by 53 points. 53 speed is enough to push you into your next action for any singular character. And at any singular breakpoint, you will be getting an additional action. If you're at 100 speed, 53 speed, that at least gets you 2 actions per cycle. If you're at 160 speed, it boosts you to 200. You're now getting 3 actions in the first cycle. You are always benefiting an extreme amount from Asta and that speed buff that she gives. The problem is she doesn't offer much else in the way of damage. She doesn't offer much else in the way of a damage boost. It is just about the speed with her. Now, with that in mind, there are multiple characters in this game now who scale off of speed. You have somebody like Hyzen, and you have somebody like Cyrene. Then you also have like an Aglaya. Silverwolf level 999 also benefits an insane amount from speed, so you can slap Asta in that team, and it's such a massive benefit. It's funny, she started out the game here, then she went down here. I genuinely think Asta might be in here, because she is worth using for those very specific teams, and it is more than one team, which is why I'm not going to call it niche. Next up is not the Herda, my apologies. We have Mini Herda. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't have the Herda, so this character's basically useless for me still. Like, I'm just being honest. I will say, she is probably better than I give her credit for. I'm pretty sure I've seen multiple people manage to clear Pure Fiction 3 and get like a 20k on Pure Fiction 4 with just Mini Herda. With that in mind, she does still have an area where she can, in fact, be usable. And she's also, like, one of the few characters we get for free who is AoE. Like, looking at our options here, your only other AoE option is Serval. That's literally it across the board. So, yeah, she is, in fact, a Pure Fiction merchant is the biggest thing. So, I think for that, we'll probably say niche. I think niche is fair. I think I could reasonably put her in worth using. Oh yeah, let me do this real quick. I do think I could reasonably put her in worth using. Like, I do think she's probably a little bit better than that, or than niche reference, but I think this is probably just an overall fairer placement because of the fact that it's all in one mode and she's not even like incredible in it. So it's a bit hard to justify being too much higher. Both the Herda bots. Honestly, you make a great point. Let's just rip off this band-aid. Serval is capable of almost the exact same things as Mini Herda. Like, just across the board. She's meant to play with Herda. She is passable in Pure Fiction. And sometimes she can do some decent clears on specific bosses, like Nikador. I'm pretty sure I saw a Serval 4-cost clear the other day or something like that. Absolutely insane, so... Again, both just chilling in niche reference. They are okay. They can, in fact, get you through, like, some very specific content, and that's already more than you can ask for out of the little motley crew we have down here. Alright, next up is Hook. I wish I could say something nicer about Hook. She's literally just bad. She's just bad. There's no redeeming factor. I think she... Okay, I will say this. Hook actually has some cool things in her kit. Like, she has built-in energy regen and an action advance.
Excuse me, what? Oh my god, she does, doesn't she?
Regenerate 5 energy when attacking a target afflicted with burn. When using her ultimate, Hook has her action advance forward by 20%. And regenerates 5 energy. Hook has built-in energy regen and an action advance. That's insane! Like, Hook has a very unique design for such an early character. Because most characters don't get extra energy. They don't get action advances built in. Like, this is actually kind of crazy. The problem is that everything else about her sucks. It's just depressing. It does hurt to put Hook this low, because I do kind of like the design. She just has absolutely nothing else going for her. Alright, next up is Natasha. If you have E6 Natasha, hey! HP scaling DPS. No, okay, yeah. It's a healer. Healers are helpful. I personally like Lynx more, and I think she's better than Natasha. But with that said, sustains are still helpful in general, so I'm gonna give her the niche pass. And next up is Pela. So this is the first character who's probably going in the top tier. I'm just gonna be honest with you all. Pela can still contribute to winning in this game, because no matter what, Resolution shines as pearls of sweat with Pela Ultimate, 56% defense shred. So that means you're getting like 40% increased damage. No matter what, that is always going to be helpful. And ideally, you're gonna build Pela to be very fast, so she's great at triggering consistent attacks, building energy, which a lot of characters can, in fact, make use of. Pela still has a lot of value she can provide. It's just the fact that modern supports also do so much damage usually, or their buffs are so much more overwhelming than what Pela is capable of. With that all in mind, yeah, she can still do a perfectly fine job. We are gonna slap her up to still goated. Alright, next up is good ol' Sampo Koski. Wow, I actually have just nothing positive to say. Aw, shit. Okay, that's disingenuous. Sampo's not, like, god-awful or anything. The problem with DOT is an archetype that gets so substantially weaker if you do not have the best characters available. Like, Hysilens and Kafka are a necessity, and then, nowadays, Black Swan is overwhelmingly the best option to run alongside the current DOT cast. Anybody else in that slot is now a massive downgrade, and content is being kind of geared towards the idea of having that ideal team available. So with that being the case, yeah, Sampo's damage to that archetype is just genuinely pretty minuscule. He's not even bad. He's just really not good. I think we can slap him in niche reference, I think. I think this is a fine placement for him. Next up is Xing Shui. Do I think Xing Shui is an amazing character? No. Do I think she is a very cool and unique character? Yes. The biggest thing is that sparkle buffs. Sparkle buffs have made Xing Shui so much more viable, it's not even funny. You can genuinely use this character in some content, and it will in fact be possible. Plus, if you have an E2 Sparkle and another invested support, she can actually do such a good amount of damage. The kit design of Xing Shui is just so impressive. The fact that this is a early game character. This is one of the earliest characters they released. Her kit design has never been replicated. She has the most unique, not the most unique, but she has one of the most unique mechanics in the game. She has Eidolons that actually genuinely support her game plan in a meaningful way. And then she actually pairs extremely well with specific supports. So she's not just left out in the dust to just have to kind of use whatever's available or the strongest thing possible. She pairs well with Sparkle, and as a result of that, she gets a lot of benefit over just using like a Sunday and Tribby or whatever other good generalist supports were out right now. Genuinely such a phenomenal character design, and while the power isn't exactly there, I do think if you have the available tools to use her, she is genuinely still pretty decent as of right now. So, I'm going to put her in worth using. Do I just like Xing Shui a lot? Yes! This is my list. You can't stop me, motherfucker. Oh, man. Okay, I always do these two characters together because they are functionally the exact same thing. They were break characters before the concept of break teams and super break existed. And as a result of that, they get fucked over an insane amount because they have things in their kit pertaining to break, but they don't actually gain as much from break as you would want them to. With that being the case, between the two of them, I just think Shui is better. So it kind of puts Su Xiong in an awkward position, because I think Su Xiong has a unique kit, and she has a decent kit that works well with the current super break supports we have in the game, because she benefits from enemies being broken, so by having a fugue with exo toughness, you actually get that benefit even more so. But Shui just actually scales off of break effect. They both need crit stats and attack either way. It's just a bit hard. I think I can reasonably put them in the same spot, but yeah, I do think Shui is just better. Shui is better. Okay, that's a very good point. Shui is also miserable to build. Shui is far more miserable to build comparatively. But again, I do think Shui just has higher ceiling. I don't know if this classifies as niche or not, because the reason to use these two characters is if you have Dahlia and Fugue available. If you do not have those two characters available, you should not be using Su Xiong or Shui. In niche you go. Ting Yun. She still gets used in 0 cycles today, dog. Like, what do you want from me? Like, point blank period. She still gets used in 0 cycles today. She is really good still and very helpful. Having so much energy provided to your target, so getting a massive attack boost as well as energy and a damage boost is really nice. Also, there is the fact that she can, in fact, use DDD, which is a very powerful light cone, and she's really good at using it. So realistically, I think she is more than deserving of this slot. Yukong. I want to try and be nice about Yukong every single time. There is nothing to be nice about. Her kit is just makes no sense. It's not really that helpful in any way, shape, or form. Nothing here makes sense about Yukong. Just there you go. All right, we're done. Luca. Okay, so here's the thing. Luca is in the exact same tier as the other characters who are being used as break, but then he also has DOT usability, so I think he's slightly better than all of them. So we're going to put him, like, right here. The thing with Luca is the fact that he can genuinely be helpful as both a DOT unit, and he can be helpful as a break unit. There are just substantially better options. Next up is Lynx. Okay, so sustain tier. However, I would like to make it known, I do think Lynx is the best 4-star sustain, not named Gallagher. Because Gallagher is just on a completely different level. So, in terms of actual normal 4 stars, I think Lynx is the best sustain here. Because of that, I'm actually going to put Lynx in worth using. Because I think she just has that higher advantage over the others. Alright, anyway, Gwynaifen. Okay, so here's the thing. I really love Gwynaifen. The problem is she's a worse DOT unit than Sampo. She's a worse debuffer than Pela. And then she's not as good of a break unit as Su Xiong or Shui. Yeah, it makes me sad, but I do think she still has a surprising amount of value because of the fact that she can dip her toes into everything. And if you're going to mainly use her as a debuffer, she does actually stack a surprising amount of vulnerability if you want to have her be that central debuffer. I'm going to put her in the niche tier. Next up is Hanya. Hanya, I think, is one of the most overlooked characters in the game. I think she has one of the most unique designs that they have put out for a 4-star. The problem is that we just keep getting better and better supports, and then we got Sparkle, like, literally a patch after Hanya came out. She had no time to shine. She was basically dead on arrival, and that fucking sucks. Because I do genuinely like a lot of what Hanya brings to the table. She brings increased damage taken, she brings skill point regeneration, she brings speed, she brings attack percent. Hanya is, in fact, a very cool and well-designed character. She just doesn't offer nearly enough to benefit anybody at this point. I'm going to let a little bit of bias go. I'm going to put Hanya in worth using. Because Because I think she hits on enough at a high level to be up there. Alright, we got 4 more. Misha. Okay, so it's the same thing where Misha can be a crit damage DPS or a super break DPS. The problem is that I just think literally everybody in the niche tier is just better at that job than him. And that makes me upset because Misha has one of the coolest kit designs in this entire game, and it's not close. And it's just screwed over by the insistence on focusing on additional damage when frozen. Because of that shit, that kit just falls off a cliff, and you cannot do anything else to help it. It's so upsetting. And now we can actually just have positive conversations the whole way through. So, Gallagher. He's still capable of rivaling Luocha in terms of healing output. And he's one of the most SP-positive characters in the entire game. He can keep you alive. He can get you some SP. And if you really want to, this can be your fucking break DPS. If you really want to, that can be your break DPS right there. That guy is ridiculous. Yeah, Gallagher, unbelievably designed character. I don't really think I need to say much else. Everybody knows that Gallagher is the GOAT. March 7th Hunt and Moz. The way this kind of works out, Moz is ideally the sub DPS for Fei Xiao. He can still appear in some other areas, and I do know people who do main DPS Moz, and that can in fact work well enough. I wouldn't recommend that for most people. I do not think it would actually be that efficient for you, but it can work surprisingly well. And you kind of have that same different side of the same coin with March 7th Hunt, who can be a sub DPS for Hunt, but her ideal performance is going to be seen as a main DPS in break teams. So once again, we have a character who benefits a lot from break, like many of the other 4-stars. She is just the best at it. She is insanely good at it. Amazing damage, built-in toughness reduction, and then it's the fact she can also double as your sub DPS for Fei Xiao mainly, but even in the case of some other teams. Honestly, I think I can warrant putting them both in still goated. The problem is that they are both a little outclassed by just other character options. You know what? It's my list, and I really like what these two offer, and I think they are very helpful. They're going in still goated. All right. And there we go. This is how useful every 4-star in Star Rail is. Now, I know this list doesn't look as promising as you would want it to be, but 9 4-stars who can still have some sort of use in the game right now is honestly not that bad. Overall, solid. Alright, so anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Very much appreciate it. I've got plenty more good videos coming out soon, so I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.